What's going on, guys? JPA Trades here. And this video, we're just going to be looking a little bit at why we entered Amazon calls on Friday. Just a couple quick thoughts for what's going to be going on next week. So before we get into it, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you really want to be awesome, join, become a channel member. It just shows you like what we're doing here, keeps the videos getting made, all that fun stuff. So let's get into it. Amazon. So end of the day on Friday, I talked about I was gonna buy some calls, so my Stone Cold Steve Austin meme, but basically looked into getting some Amazon calls. So my basic thought for what I said was, if World War III doesn't start this weekend, everything should bounce a little bit. There's a ton of shorts out there, and if it does start, bigger problems to worry about. So a little bit of a joke there, a little bit seriousness, but without a doubt, there's definitely some increasing tensions. Not really going to get into any political thing, but war is bad, peace is good, stonks go up, all that fun stuff. But also the market was also just on an insane run, and yeah, please hold there, but pretty insane run, and then it looked really ugly for Amazon on Friday. So why did I pick that one? So just to kind of keep elaborating with some of the stuff, I put a lot of these ideas on Twitter, but just to kind of circle back for what was going on. So we know that next week we have Tesla, Microsoft, Google, and Meta. So really the only option to buy the dip was, at least for me, because I tend to focus on mega caps, was Amazon. Amazon also has been pretty strong recently, along with Google. I think Google has the potential to do some good things on earnings. Same with Meta. Tesla, you're basically thinking that all the downsides already priced in. So there's a lot of stuff that can happen, but with Netflix selling off on a triple beat, but they kind of also mentioned that they weren't announcing subscribers anymore, so they didn't really like that growth aspect. So a lot can happen, but I mean, I like the chances of something bouncing, which is why I picked Amazon. So rambling a little bit here, but let's get back to Amazon. So 90-minute, it looks real ugly, but you're gonna see kind of what I was looking at here when I switched to the daily. So you guys always know I love looking at the wicks. The bigger the wick, the more interesting they are. So obviously, here's a pretty long wick down, and it bounced back up. So right away, we love this point right here, and maybe I'll just do a little arrow so we can drag this across and see kind of it's repeating a lot of places. Oh, okay. So just for kind of a quick, why did he buy on Friday? Well, I'll tell you why. Here's kind of where these lows are: 173.3, 173.3, 173.5. What was the low here? 173.4. So where do you think my buy was? That's right, somewhere between 173.3, 173.5 was kind of my first buy. Also knew that we were heading into the weekend, and I waited till the end of the day. So I knew we could keep selling potentially, but there's only 15 minutes left to sell. How much further down can it really go? Which it could go a lot further down. It could go to kind of these two lower points here, the one, which we'll just go ahead and highlight, the 171, and just kind of make just our generic range of where we're looking. So these long wicks right in here, and we could stretch it up and call it like the 174, but let's just keep it where it's at now so it doesn't look that messy. So let's remove this line here just to make it real simple looking for you guys. So here's kind of these interesting points in here. So there's all these super long wicks up and down. The longer the better. I don't really care about tiny ones. Like this one kind of matters, but I prefer like these long wicks to kind of paint the bigger picture of where some of the levels are. Like if we keep selling like 165 and all that, but my calls will be toast by then. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But we got a pretty generic range of 171.75 to 173.5 is where I really want Amazon to hold for some kind of bounce. And that's going to be largely dependent on what's able to happen with earnings. So, like Tesla earnings, Microsoft, Meta, Google, all that fun stuff. We need to see some kind of bounce, and it can come back and just kind of, if we got a 50% retrace. So, here's kind of where we started selling. Went down 8%, so $15. If we go up $7, our 180s are in the money. And that's basically why we picked the 180 calls, because they can go potentially in the money maybe more, but our options will be a nice double. And we were fortunate enough to get a pretty good bottom hold and get that nice 25% at close. So would have loved to get 50% and take a ton of risk off right away, but 22%, definitely a great step in the right direction. So Monday will be a little bit of a premium drain day when it opens, but I'm hoping that because of all the stuff going on with earnings and everything, that it tends to hold a pretty good chunk of that premium, but we'll definitely see for sure. And just to kind of add to that, it seems like there's not, as long as kind of things simmer down in the Middle East here, there's not going to be any response. But if there is response, Iran's going to respond to Israel. Israel's going to respond back. Not a geopolitical expert, like I said, so I'm just no explosion, smiley face, explosion, sad face is basically the simplest and easiest way I can mention it to you guys. And then also kind of tweeted out that there was a lot of inflows going in. So there was money on the sidelines looking to get in for an opportunity. And I mean, big dip off of highs. Why would you not try to get back in just to get something, especially if these levels hold? But if we start selling, it can get ugly. And same with SPY. Just do a quick generic check. Like I joked before about the Bears want the October lows to come back, but I mean, chance for this to break out or break up. I mean, not beautiful by any means, but same thing. We can also just look at the wicks, which 490, pretty pretty decent one, which we would definitely prefer that this first one here holds at 493. So basically, any of these, like here's another long wick down. Like you can just kind of you can go crazy painting all these in here, but I guess the bigger thing I'm looking at is like these little tiny wicks up and like little tinier ones here. I'm not as interested in, but like these type of wicks here, long skinny ones up and down, I really am interested in these points. So that's kind of just what I tend to like all of these, like this wick, like 503 we know matters. Like here it is again here, 505. So we know those levels matter, but ton of this is just I didn't buy SPY because it's very dependent on earnings. I didn't buy QQQQ because it's a little more dependent on earnings. I wanted to do just some individual stock picking, which is why I picked Amazon. I mean, if you want to play like any of the earnings, like maybe Tesla can bounce, but I'm not gonna post an earnings play for you guys and risk. I'd rather be in Amazon personally than try to trade one of the earnings. I definitely for sure think that Tesla could bounce. Think that Meta TikTok news is good. Microsoft is down a lot. Could it bounce? Yes, but it just is. It's a dice roll. If you have a strong conviction one way or the other, I say go for it. If you want to try to play, I think the net reaction will be positive, is what I was thinking, which is why I'm an Amazon, and maybe SPY will be good, maybe QQQ will be good, but I'm hoping that Amazon just works out good for us and can kind of assess from there. So I guess big things to take from this video is just want that Amazon level to hold, and then same thing, these long skinny wicks is stuff that matters. The tinier ones not as important. So with that, hope this was a little quick educational video. Hopefully we have an awesome week coming forward. Hope you all enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next time.